Hello everyone, I'm Ferris, one of the teachers for SciO Connect, or at least for cheat sheets, and today I will be teaching you guys how to make a cheat sheet for Science Olympiad. So first of all, you may be asking, especially if you're new to SciLE, what is a cheat sheet? So a cheat sheet is something that's allowed in some events, and as you can see for one of my disease detectives cheat sheets in middle school, it can end up having a lot of words, and I'll be teaching you how to cram all of those words and some pointers for how to make cheat sheets for all events. Now, what does the rules say? The rules say every team may bring one A4 sheet of paper, and it is please understand that this paper can be double-sided, so don't just print one side. Your cheat sheet, usually most events allow you one sheet of paper front and back, but especially in Division C, the chemistry events will allow you two sheets of paper, so in total that'll be 4 sheets of paper for you to put information on. Yeah, so it may sound, A4 piece of paper may not sound like a lot of paper, but in most events, 2 sheets you can actually cram a lot of information on. So you'll be probably hitting 10,000 to 20,000 words on there. So here are some general pointers for how to make cheat sheets. So first of all, once you're done with your cheat sheet, please use page protectors, so when you get to competitions, if anything spills, the cheat sheet will be intact, since the cheat sheet is probably the most important part of Science Olympiad for most of the study events. And don't worry about glare, there's no effect of glare. Even with page protectors, you can read it very clear. And also print all of your cheat sheets in color, because color coding, like highlighting different pieces of information on the cheat sheet, different colors, will allow you to use will allow you to color code text sections so you can find them quickly. And since you're cramming all of this information on a piece of paper, you want to find your information quickly so you don't waste time, since time is of the essence in a lot of Science Olympiad events. And printing in color allows you to use images efficiently. So always print in color, never print in black and white, because that'll be very ineffective. Margins, don't use the Google Docs standard margins, but set margins according to the printer's capability, and you can set the margins on Google Docs by clicking File and then Page Setup, and usually do around 0.2 inches on all sides, but some printers only go up to 0.5 inches. So yeah, you just have to know what your printer can support, but always go smaller than 1 inch. Never use the default margins, because that'll cost you a lot of words. So, and the last part of the cheat sheet structure for this video will be page separation. So please take advantage of images. I'll be talking about that in the next video, but don't look for common diagrams that you can easily memorize, because you don't want to waste space on your cheat sheet. Look for the ones that pop up often, and I'll get to that later. And usually use one page of text and the second page all for diagrams, since diagrams will be more useful than you think. So that is all for part 1 of the cheat sheets video, and in part 2 I will be talking about the specific content of a cheat sheet and what to put on there. See you later! Hello everyone, we're back, and this is part 2 of how to make Science Olympiad cheat sheets. I am still Ferris, and let's get to the content of what to put in your cheat sheet, since we talked about structure last time. Alright, so as I mentioned, obviously don't include common knowledge things that you can know off the top of your head. Like, if you're doing anatomy for next year, don't put like the parts of a neuron, because that's just wasting space. And it'll make you feel good about writing it, but boosting your ego is not very useful in a test. So have things that are in a list, especially, and you can elaborate on them. Like, there's some things that you just have to memorize, but you can prevent memorization by putting it on a cheat sheet, like Hill's criteria for disease, all of the biomes for ecology, and maybe all of the bones for anatomy this year. So don't waste your time on memorizing them and just put them on a cheat sheet, those things especially, and put harder concepts on a cheat sheet. So as I was saying, some advanced concepts include diseases and treatments and prevention methods, especially for anatomy and physiology. And for disease detectives, characteristics of each disease and vaccines. There's a lot of lists in disease, so you'll have no problem finding what to put on the cheat sheet. And just go through a lot of tests and find reoccurring themes that maybe ask you to memorize some things, and also put things that you're not interested in learning to save time. Like sometimes in anatomy they ask you to identify a drug, so you can maybe put a list of all the drugs and what they look like on the cheat sheet in an image. So as I was saying earlier, have a dedicated page for images and diagram. Usually the first page, not first place. Although that's hopefully what you'll be getting using cheat sheets. So this is my anatomy cheat sheet from a long time ago in 21, 22. And the first page it has some diagrams like a very advanced labeling of the brain, some tables from textbooks, which are very useful. And as I was saying, reoccurring diagrams. It was nervous, sensory, and endocrine that year, so reoccurring diagrams would have been the location of the cranial nerves, the circle of Willis, structure of a spinal cord, things like that that I couldn't be bothered to learn, but putting it on cheat sheet makes it much easier. And one of our coaches at SCSS always used to say a good litmus test for cheat sheet fonts is to make sure your parents are not able to read them. And talking about fonts, here we go. So cheat sheets are a trade-off between how easy they are to use and how efficient they can be in a test. And what do I mean by efficiency? Efficiency is packing as much words as you can into a document. But if you pack a lot of words, you need smaller fonts, and smaller fonts make it slower to read in a test. So that's a trade-off you'll have to decide for yourself. And use condensed fonts if your printer can handle it, but some printers, they can't discern condensed fonts that easily, so I would be careful. And regular fonts are less optimal, but they're definitely easy to read. So depends on your eyes and the capability of your printer. But I would never go smaller than 3 font on Google Docs. And bigger fonts just fill space. If you have a lot of space on your cheat sheet and you don't really know about diagrams, always make the font bigger, since you can't go wrong with having a cheat sheet being more easy to read. And if you actually have to put a lot of things to put, font 3 and 4, you just have to color code it very well. And it will be slow to read, but make sure before a test to know which sections of your cheat sheet are where, so you can use it rapidly. Let me go back to the color coding slide earlier. So this is a cheat sheet, a sample cheat sheet, and you can see you should highlight different things in different colors, and bigger concepts be one color, and then like diseases can maybe be one color, and then highlight the sub-diseases. The list of each disease can maybe be highlighted in a different color. So please take advantage of being able to use color and being able to print in color. So that is very important. It's very underrated about how important color is. So, closing thoughts. Cheat sheets are a very unique feature of SciLE, and they're called cheat sheets for a reason, because they're not usually allowed in other competitions. And if you're gonna do other competitions outside of SciLE, a lot of the things are cheat sheets you'll have to memorize anyway, but just focusing on SciLE, please take advantage of a cheat sheet. It has to be very high quality, and don't make a random cheat sheet and just set it aside. Always work on your cheat sheet throughout the season, and the cheat sheet always evolves. So, but also remember that a cheat sheet can't carry you in competitions. You still have to do a lot of the studying by yourself. Conceptual knowledge, intuition, things like that are very important. But a cheat sheet can really help. So, but it's very imperative that you do not get lazy because you have the ability to use a cheat sheet. So have fun cheat sheeting. I hope this helps. And these slides will be posted. So, yeah. Bye.